goodness, what is wrong with you, computer?
Are you okay?
I'm just frustrated because it's not working. I'm trying to upload something and it's just taking forever.
It sounds like you're really frustrated. Maybe you should just take a minute, put it aside, and take a minute to take a deep breath.
Okay, I'll just walk away from it.
Wow. Maybe today's lesson will be really good for you. You can take a deep breath and center and try to focus on the good. It seems like you were really frustrated and focusing on what you couldn't do.
Yes, okay. We can do that.
All right. Our normal opening is with the offertory blessing. So are you ready for that? You ready to take a deep breath? Take a deep breath before you start though.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
ready.
So hold your blessing in your hand, and divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. All right, so today's lesson is for the third key, and it is all about words and speaking our truth. So, maybe we need to work on speaking our truth with that computer.
Yes, we do.
All right, so let's go ahead and say the Lord's Prayer, and then we'll talk about what the next key is. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, so our first key was with the first two phrases, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And then we did thy kingdom come, thy will be done. So what is it today? Give us this day our daily bread is going to be our first phrase that we're going to figure out what that means. So what do you think it means to give us this day our daily bread?
Could it be to give us what we need for the day, to ask for what we need?
Yeah, I think it's God giving us what we need both emotionally and physically. Sometimes we need food to nourish our bodies, and sometimes we just need insight. So yeah, just giving us what we need for our daily life. And
so for example, with the computer, just giving me peace for the day.
And trusting that God is in control and that you will get it done. Maybe just putting it away will make it go quicker.
Okay. And the next one is forgiving our trespasses. What do you think trespasses is?
So, some people say this prayer a little differently. Some people say it with debts instead of trespasses. And so it really just means to the things we did wrong. And we're saying forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespassed against us. So it's like forgive us of our wrongs and for the wrongs other people did, right? And sometimes, do you ever find that it's harder to forgive yourself than to forgive others? You get really frustrated with yourself, maybe with your computer.
Yes.
And your inability to do something, it's like, oh, I could do blank, but you're frustrated because you can't do it.
Yes. So it kind of blocks my mind to see the good in it.
Yeah. And so when we say forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, it's about us forgiving others and forgiving ourselves. And to let go of that attachment. Sometimes we move through life saying, oh, well, I can't do that. Because last time I did that, it went really wrong. And so I can't do that. Instead of trying again, right? So we have to let go of those things.
Okay.
And then what's our last phrase?
Forgive those who trespass against us.
right? So we just talked about that one. What's the one that comes right after that? Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So what do you think that means?
Could it be sometimes like when you see something that you're really interested in, you want to touch, but it says do not touch? Would that be something leading us into temptation?
That could be. I think also sometimes it's just tempting to fall into our old habits of yelling at our computers instead of using our mindfulness techniques. So like this today, our mindfulness technique is going to be blowing worries out for our older friends, and for our younger friends it's going to be centering in peace. And so we can use those techniques when we're frustrated instead of getting angry and letting that out. So I think temptation can be, yes, touching something, but it can also just be the temptation to like do our old habits and things that we know aren't really helpful. But it could also be, you know, how often do you see something that somebody else has and you're like, oh, if only I had the PlayStation 4, or if only I had that nice camera that had the perfect mic on it, then I wouldn't be stressing. Or if only I had the faster internet that would let me upload the videos. And so sometimes our temptation is to think that we don't have what we need, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have it. We just maybe need to think outside the box, right? Maybe we don't have it at our house, or maybe what we have at our house might be better in some ways. Like maybe somebody has a PlayStation 4, but we have a really loving family, and maybe they don't have that. Or maybe we have really great friends, and maybe they don't have really great friends, and so all they do is play, So we have to look at what we have all the way around.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And so our next line is...
That's it for today.
Oh, okay.
So our key today is kind of big. It's kind of big, but we're going to focus on words, because we're going to talk about how, our words affect everything. And so our words can be not so nice about ourselves. We can be not so nice about other people. And that can be a trespass. And that can be something that we're tempted to do. But sometimes it's tempting to go, oh yeah, she's just rude. I don't really like her.
So our first word would be to realize what we're saying.
Right. And to realize that God is in everyone. And we have to look for that. And everyone and everything, even your computer that's frustrating.
So we forgive the trespasses.
So we have to realize and let it go and forgive it. And so that, because if we hold on to things, we can't move forward. So we don't want to hold on to things and stay stuck. That wouldn't be fun. All right.
Okay.
So now it's time for our meditation and mindfulness. All right, so for today, our opening meditation mindfulness technique is going to be bubbles. And so I invite you to sit with your spine straight. So we're going to sit mindfully with our spine straight, eyes closed, and we're going to just take a deep breath, and we're going to imagine that we have a bubble wand in our hand. And I want you to take a deep breath and imagine that you're holding a bubble wand and you're blowing through it. And as you take your next deep breath, I want you to imagine your worry. And picture what it looks like. And blow your worry out into your bubble wand. And imagine the bubble is formed. And it floats away and pops, disappearing. Now take another another deep breath in. And picture that worry. Blow it away. Each time, imagining a bubble with the image of that worry floating along, then popping and disappearing. And you can do this over and over again for the same worry, a different one. Until you feel ready to move on with your day. Now, you guys have actual bubbles in your activity for the opening activity. So you could actually blow some of your worries away in a real bubble. So you take a deep breath and picture that worry and blow it away and watch it pop until every single bubble has popped. And you can keep going until you feel ready. Now, make sure you save some of your bubbles for your opening activity. So now that we have let our worries go with bubbles, and in the pre-K class you guys have centered with peace.
Yes, creating peace in our hearts.
Now we're gonna see what it's like to spread words. And so sometimes we spread words of kindness and sometimes we don't. But so today we're gonna blow bubbles and try to catch them and put them back in. And so if you have younger friends at home, maybe the parents can help with blowing the bubbles, and you can try to catch one on your finger, or you can do it yourself. So we're gonna try to blow these bubbles and catch them and put the whole bubble back in the tube.
And if you want, as you're blowing out, you can say whatever peaceful words or kind words that you want to put out there in the universe. Love. Oops, mine popped. There you go.
Joy.
Creativity.
Oh, mine are splashing everywhere when I try to put them back in.
Yes. This is kind of hard. They're not going in. Ah. I think mine, a lot of mine are popping before I put them in. Are you having any luck, Sonia?
I'm getting part of the bubble back in, and then sometimes it sticks here, and then when I push it in, it pops and goes on the outside. I'm not getting, look at how much I have left. I don't have very much bubbles left. It doesn't look like much of the bubbles are going back in, even for the ones that I catch. I've caught a lot, but they're not going back in.
Oh. Mine pop before I blow them out.
Yeah, I'm not getting much back in. So how do you think this is like letting our words out into the universe?
Well, I think if it's a good word, it's fine for it to stay out there. But if they're kind of mean words, I don't know. It's kind of hard to take them back, right?
Yeah. So much like our words, we have to be impeccable with our words. When we use words and then we try to take them back, it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
And so what we say has a lot of power.
It sure does.
Our words are powerful. And I know sometimes some of us were told sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt you. And we know that's not true.
Yes.
Words can hurt. And so we have to be really careful with the words that we choose to put out in the universe, whether they're about ourselves or about other people.
Yeah. So think good words, but share your peaceful hearts, and all will be good.
And just think before you speak.
Yes.
So today's teen lesson is going to be a reading from the 5th agreement, but we are going to read about the first agreement. Be impeccable with your words. Be impeccable with your words. The word is your power of creation, and that power can be used in more than one direction. One direction is impeccability, where the word creates a beautiful story, your personal heaven on earth. The other direction is misuse of the word, where the word destroys everything around you and creates your personal hell. The word, as a symbol, has the magic power of creation because it can reproduce an image, an idea, a feeling, or an entire story in your imagination. Just hearing the word horse can reproduce an entire image in your mind. That's the power of a symbol. But it can even be more powerful than that. Just by saying two words, the Godfather, a whole movie can appear in your mind. This is your magic, your power of creation, and it begins with the word. Perhaps you can understand why the Bible says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. According to many religions, in the beginning, nothing existed. And the very first thing that God created was the messenger, the angel who delivers a message. You may understand the need for something that could transfer information from one place to another place. Of course, from nowhere to nowhere seems a little complicated, but it's very simple at the same time. In the beginning, God created the Word, and the Word is a messenger. Then if God created the Word to deliver a message, and if the Word is a messenger, then that is what you are. You are a messenger, an angel. The Word exists because of a force that we call life, intent, or God. The Word is the force. It is the intent, and that is why our intent manifests the Word no matter what language we speak. So we say the word, sometimes the word of the Lord, or God created and the Word is God. So the Word is just telling us how powerful our words are. And as you notice, when we say things like horse or unicorn, there's an image that pops up in your mind, right? And that is how powerful words are. When you read a book, sometimes you imagine you've seen something, right? You can read a really good book and you imagine the places and the things, and sometimes you see a movie based on a book and you're like, that's not what I was thinking of. Because the words on the page were so powerful that they created an image in your head. Remember God and Adam talking and walking together? God creates reality, and we recreate reality with the Word. The virtual reality that we create is a reflection of reality. It is our interpretation of reality by use of the Word. Nothing can exist without the Word, because the Word is what we use to create everything we know. If you notice, I'm changing all the symbols on purpose so you can see that the different expressions mean the exact same thing. The symbol can change, but the meaning is the same in all the different traditions around the world. If you listen to the intent behind the symbols, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Impeccability of the Word is so important because the Word is you, the messenger. The Word is all about the message you deliver. Not just to everyone and everything around you, but the message you deliver to yourself. So remember, we can either speak kind words to ourselves and think good things, positive things, that we are capable, we can do things, or we can think negative things about ourselves and tell ourselves that we just can't and we're not smart enough, whatever that may be. But our words have power over us, and then when we say them to others, they have the power to hurt people, they have the power to encourage people. you can use those words to encourage those around you and lift them up. You're telling yourself a story, but is it the truth? If you're using the word to create a story with self-judgment and self-rejection, then you're using the word against yourself, and you're not being impeccable. When you're impeccable, you're not going to tell yourself, I'm old, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm never going to make it in life. You're not going to use your knowledge against yourself, which means your voice of knowledge is not going to use the word to judge you, find you guilty, and punish you. Your mind is so powerful that it perceives the story that you create. If you create self-judgment, you create inner conflict. That's nothing but a nightmare. Your happiness is up to you. It depends on how you use the word. If you get angry and use the word to send emotional poison to someone else, it appears that you're using the word against that person. But you're really using the word against yourself. That action is going to create a like reaction, and that person is going to go against you. If you insult someone, that person may even harm you in response. If you use the word to create a conflict in which your body may be injured, of course it's against you. Being impeccable with your word really means never use the power of the word against yourself. When you're impeccable with your word, you never betray yourself. You never use the word to gossip about yourself or spread emotional poison by gossiping about other people. Gossiping is the main form of communication in human society, and we learn how to gossip by agreement. When we are children and we hear adults around us gossiping about themselves and giving their opinions about others, including people they don't even know. But now you are aware that opinions are not the truth. They are just a point of view. Remember, you are the creator of your own life story. If you use the word impeccably, just imagine the story that you are going to create for yourself. You are going to use the word in the direction of truth and love for yourself. You're going to use the word to express the truth in every thought, in every action, in every word you use to describe yourself, to describe your own life story. And what will be the result? An extraordinary, beautiful life. In other words, you're going to be happy. So, when we remember to be impeccable with our words, we can create a beautiful life for ourselves, where we attract good and we create this beautiful story. When we choose to use our words against ourselves or negative thinking, then we create what we consider like a hell here on earth, right? So it's up to us to create our own heaven, to remember that we are creating everything by what we say to ourselves and to others. Alright, so today's activity is going to be blowing paint. And so you have a straw in your bag with some paint bottles for today's craft. And I'm actually going to cut my straw for each paint that I'm using. And you can do the same thing, or you don't have to. It's up to you. And so, scissors to the side. Here's my 2 straws. So we're going to get a little bit of paint on the end of our straw. Put it on the paper and blow it. Helps if you just make it a blob. your picture looks like sometimes. And how do you think this applies to realization? So mine looks like this so far. And sometimes we try to do things like right here. I was kind of trying to make a flower, but it didn't really come out like a flower. But when I look at it, it kind of looks like a heart. And so sometimes when we say or do things, they don't quite come out the way that we intended them to. And sometimes we have to look for the good anyways. And so while this may not be the flower that I intended, it does look like a heart. And I can just appreciate the colors and the shapes, how rounded everything is. And this one kind of looks like a fish. This one might look like a butterfly or even the letter H. This might even be a Y. So we can look at them and we can actually just be a centering activity where we just kind of think. You know, sometimes we forget to be quiet and be still and listen. And it's hard to listen to God when we're talking. So if you wanted to do this for a longer period of time, you can pause this video or do it later and sit and just listen with your heart. And while you're doing that, sometimes you might just be quiet enough to actually hear God. So we can look for the good in everything and listen to God. So thank you for joining us on the third day, and today's key was realization and realizing that we are one with God and that we need to forgive ourselves and others so that we can be in alignment with God. And to remember to use our words, right? Today was choosing our words.
Yes. And to realize to take a moment, breathe, and become peaceful, and then bring out our positive words.
That's right. And to remember too that when we use our negative words, we can't take those back. So words are powerful and they help us create our lives, and it's up to us to choose our words and choose them wisely. Now for our closing prayer, the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And we are grateful. Go be a light in the world.